This is a short film without a single line of dialogue, yet it has touched tens of millions of netizens and made countless people burst into tears. Up from a coma. He had just been in a car accident. The growling sound in his ears came from his wife, who had already turned into a zombie. The man hurriedly escaped from the car. At this time, he suddenly remembered his daughter, who was still in the car. After a sad and resolute fight, the man successfully rescued his daughter. But unfortunately, he was bitten by his wife. Looking at his wound, the man realized that he wouldn't live long and would turn into a zombie too. But what about his daughter? Without time to be sad, he quickly took out a map and marked the places where there might be survivors. After calculating the distance and time, the man put the child on his back and set off quickly. From time to time on the way, he heard the sounds of zombie fathers. He continued to move forward. When he found some rotten animal meat on the road, he put it in a bag. When passing by a house, his daughter started crying. The man ran into the yard and blew up a balloon to cheer his daughter up. Not long after that, he felt the virus taking effect. His legs went weak and he collapsed on the ground. But he wasn't willing to give up. He could die. But what about his daughter? With the little consciousness he had left, the man stood up and forced himself to keep going. His steps seemed a bit abnormal. When the man turned his head, he had already turned into a zombie. In order not to hurt his daughter, the man hung the rotten meat he had found before in front of him, allowing himself to be attracted by the rotten meat and walked forward like a mule. He also tied his own hands to prevent himself from reaching out to hurt his daughter behind him. Under the pull of the rotten meat, the man finally came to an open space. With a gunshot, the man fell down immediately. 3 survivors walked over. After checking that the man was indeed dead, 2 of them turned around and left. The remaining woman noticed the rotten meat on the man's stick and his tied hands. She checked it carefully and was a bit puzzled. Her companions kept urging her beside her. Just as the woman was about to leave, suddenly the cry of a baby came from behind. The woman quickly turned around, pushed aside the clothes on the man's body and found the child lying on the ground. On the child's belly were the words, "My daughter, named Rosie." Finally, the child was saved under the protection of her father. To show respect for the man, the companions buried the body of this great father. Weak as he was, he still moved forward with a heavy burden. How could such great paternal love not be touching?